Has the year 2022 been a problem for you as a buyer? Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Brandi Cook, and this is my business partner, Vikki Crossland of the Aiken Homes team at Meybohm Real Estate. Today we're here with Aaron Blackmon from Atlantic Bay Mortgage, and we're going to be discussing 5 tips for buyers for 2022.
Thank you, Aaron, for joining us. It's great to have you. We're looking forward to these tips. Do you want to share them with us?
Sure, absolutely. We'll jump right in. So the first tip I would share is you need to work with a lender that does upfront underwriting. So what this means is a mortgage company can go ahead and underwrite your loan file for a specific purchase price. And not only do you get a pre-approval letter, but you get a full approval letter stating you've been approved through underwriting. It makes your offer almost as good as cash. Not quite as good as cash, but all it leaves is property conditions such as appraisal, homeowner's insurance, and title work. So that's the first tip.
And that's a big different deal when you are submitting an offer. So to have that done, it will make your offer stronger. So
As listing agents, we noticed that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, what's tip number 2?
Tip number 2, especially this year, as a home buyer, you need to think about being flexible with your monthly mortgage payment budget.
That's good advice.
As we know, home prices have raised, so have interest rates. And so both of those factors mixed together, if you look at a home 2 years ago and a mortgage 2 years ago, it's not gonna look quite the same as a mortgage in 2022. So one thing I'm encouraging home buyers in the current market, make sure you think about being flexible on that mortgage payment. You may have to go a few $100s higher per month than you had originally hoped, but that's why it's good to go ahead and have that conversation with the lender and do that upfront underwriting.
That's a good idea.
It
really
is.
Because you know what? It's not going to get better, is it?
No.
I don't think the interest rates are going down.
They're not anytime soon.
No, and I think it's a good idea to let them know, be flexible, because there is some buyers that will stick with just that one price point, and if they just go up a couple of thousand, it might not affect their mortgage payment that drastically, and they can actually afford it. But obviously we want them to stay within a budget too, so they're not eating top ramen and stuff. So, but no, I think that's great advice.
Exactly, you definitely want a happy balance in that.
So,
tip number 3, ready for it?
Ta-da-da.
A lot of home buyers forget that you can get a gift from a family member, an employer, and even a close friend with a documented relationship. It's kind of funny when it's
a documented relationship. Okay, I don't want to go there.
So this is another way you can come up with funds for closing, be that the down payment and or closing costs. So one of the misconceptions with gift funds on a mortgage is that it has to be used for the down payment, but it can be used for either or. You can use it for the closing costs as well as the down payment. So talk to your family member. Everybody, I like to tease a little bit, everybody has that rich uncle, right? So
I'm gonna say Vikki was mine.
yeah.
Thank you. You mean rich mama?
Yes.
So don't be
I'm
afraid
not rich anymore now because of her.
She used it all up. So don't be afraid to just have that conversation with your family members and just sense out, hey, is there a way I can maybe be more flexible by having more funds on hand through a gift?
Yeah, I wouldn't say, and then also when a buyer is making that offer, if they're able to have that gift and use it towards closing costs, that's another way to make the offer stronger too. So that's a great advice.
That's exactly right.
Okay,
Yeah.
what's next?
All right, so let's roll into our 4th tip, ladies. So this 4th one is very important, and it doesn't necessarily have to do with the mortgage process or guidelines or anything like that, but as a homeowner or a potential homeowner in the near future, you really need to get into the habit of saving money. Don't spend everything you make. Don't live paycheck to paycheck. Even if it's $20 a week you can save, you really need to flex that saving muscle, because as a homeowner, you never know what can happen. If you don't mind,
true.
I'd love to share a quick story from last year.
Oh, yes,
Okay, go ahead.
My wife and I,
Stories.
awesome. My wife and I were working on selling the first home we ever bought together, and literally the week before we went to list the home, my septic tank backed up.
Oh, that was
Not
messy,
a
wasn't it?
proud moment, right? Very messy. But thankfully I've been working on that savings habit. So what could have been a massive financial emergency was just a minor inconvenience. I had to reach out to a septic company. They had to come pump out the septic tank. It was very dishonoring, I guess you could say. Not the proudest moment, but that's a perfect example for why you want to keep a little bit of like a house emergency fund.
So that buffer, for life in general,
Yeah.
those things that come up.
Because something can come up at any time.
That's
Exactly.
good that you suggest that, because a lot of people don't think about that. They only think about saving before, and keeping that afterwards is just as important in life.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like I said, it's more so avoiding it as a major emergency, and now it's just a minor inconvenience.
Cool.
That whole idea.
That's a great advice, so I like it.
Awesome.
All right, number 5.
Number 5, our last tip. So I would share, enjoy the process. Right now, the way the market is, it's very high stress, very, I would say high temperature. It's a white hot market. You have sometimes minutes to make a decision on making an offer or not. But
That is true.
at the end of the day, it's a journey, right? We're not out here just buying small items. We're out here buying people's dreams in ways like we're helping people change their lives and change their family history. A lot of these folks we're able to help. So I would share with home buyers, please enjoy the journey. It's stressful. It is a lot of nerves, a lot of emotions. It's a big mental battle, but step back sometimes a little bit and just enjoy the journey. Enjoy seeing the homes. Print out that picture of your dream home, and you never know. Some awesome realtors like the two of you can help people find it.
We paid them for that.
Well, I'm gonna say, I think that's a great point to bring up, because also, if you are working with a right lender who's as positive and energetic as you, and then have the right real estate agent, that makes the process even more enjoyable. So you really need to make sure you have a good fit with your real estate agent and lender.
Obviously, it's important to take some time to interview. Just don't randomly pick a lender or a realtor, because you really need to have, it's like a short-term marriage. You have to get along and to have the same goals and working together.
And
Great
then,
advice.
I would say another thing is, when buyers are making offers, they may lose one house. Don't get discouraged. I always say it just wasn't meant to be. There's another house out there that has your name written all over it, and it was meant to be for you on that one. So just keep a positive outlook. So you gave us 5 awesome tips, but I do have a question, and I run into this a lot with the buyers not understanding. What is seasoning of money?
I'm put on the spot here, so hopefully
You got
I can
it.
answer.
You got it.
Hopefully I can answer this. So the idea of seasoning money is when you go to get a mortgage, everything has to be verified. I tell folks it's not hard to get a mortgage, it's just a lot of paperwork. And so essentially everything we do with the process, we want to be able to paper trail funds or paper trail and show and prove employment, not just directly from you through your pay stubs, but through third-party verification, so verification of employment. So back to seasoning money, it's a similar idea, right? Not only do we want to see your bank statements, but most loan programs require that we see 2 months of bank statements. Full bank statements. So if you send us pages 1 through 6 and it says page 6 of 12 on that last page, we need those 6 other pages. So the idea of seasoning money, I'll break it down. I have the question a lot myself as well. A lot of people will tell me, well, that's only what I've got in my bank account. I've got $10,000 more sitting at home.
You mean under that
Underneath
bed?
the
Yeah.
Say, under the mattress.
Mattress money. Well, that as a lender is like, ugh. So I'm glad you have that extra money, but we need to get it in a source that can be verified.
Okay.
So simply just large cash deposits aren't verifiable because there's no paper trail. Whereas with a gift, let's go back to the gift, where with a gift, let's say Vikki writes a check for you, Brandi,
Aw,
using that
thanks.
example again.
Just write me a check, okay?
Yeah, there's a paper trail because she has a check from her bank account that you deposit to your bank account. Whereas with just cash money, we can't source it and we can't verify it. So the idea of seasoning it is if you think you're gonna be buying a home in the next 6 months, and going back to my example, if you just have $10,000 sitting at home, get it in the bank today so that by the time you get to the process, the money's already there, it's already been sitting in your bank account, and it's there.
Okay, 60, 90 days for seasoning? How long do you need to see it?
Most of what I say is 60 days.
Okay.
Two months worth of sitting there. Yep. And one quick thing I wanted to address regarding bank statements and money in general, it's a very invasive act to work with a mortgage lender, right? We're looking at your financial scenario, your debt. So I understand, I've been through the process multiple times, and even I'm uncomfortable. I'm in the industry. So The reason we look at bank statements so closely is think about it kind of like chain of custody. We want to see where that money comes from because as a mortgage lender, I am federally regulated and there's laws and guidelines I have to follow so we don't slip back into 2008 housing crash, going back to those days. So keep that in mind as a home buyer. I'm not here to point out specific transactions and judge you on them. I'm here to help you with the process and find out all red flags or potential issues early on in the process so that we can make it a smooth closing and keep it easy on you.
That's what we want, as easy peasy as we can make it. Well, Aaron, thank you for coming. This has been very informative, and I think the buyers are going to appreciate it. And we know it's a big decision.
And we're here to help. Remember to like our page and subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date with all of our current and future videos. It's your home, your lifestyle, and we are your real estate team.